So you see, you have won a beautiful Mohawk carpet on your second time out, and that is plus the foam set cushion for longer life from the looms of Mohawk. And Mr. Littlefield, you are actually
a beekeeper.
A beekeeper, and anybody who wants a bee in your bonnet, send in to Mr. Littlefield. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we are glad you proved that people are funny.
If right up, the hand is quicker than the eye. Last week, Lady Luck did not smile on the young lady, but maybe this week... Howdy, Mr. Linklater.
Thank you, Pat. You can take your shell game and go now.
Thank you.
Actually, what Pat McGeehan said is absolutely true. Americans are funny about the desire to take a chance. Everybody likes to take a little bet, especially if it doesn't cost them anything. And the shell game is one of our oldest and most characteristic games of chance at carnivals, circuses, and parties. We have devised here on People Are Funny our own type of shell game. It's 3 cylinders, all painted with little dots which are practically the same. The tops of these 3 cylindrical cans are covered by a rubber which has been sliced in 2 places so that you can put your hand down in it, but you can't see down in it. Last week, a lady contestant had her choice of which one of these cans to reach into to get a $2,500 Lucien Piccard wristwatch. Instead, she got into the can where there was an electrically charged battery. She got a real charge out of this show. Tonight, we're going to continue our fun, so bring in our guest from Indianapolis, a lady picked out of the audience just before we went on the air. Hello.
Hello.
You're Mrs.?
Mrs. Margaret Durham.
From Indianapolis.
From Indianapolis.
What does Mr. Durham do?
He's the county commissioner.
County commissioner? Well, it will be all right for him to let you play our shell game with us?
Oh, I think so.
Any children, Mrs. Durham?
No.
Do you like to go to places where they have wheels of fortune?
Oh, yes.
And do a little bingo playing now and then? Now, here's the way we play our game of bingo. We have here a revolving table. And these 3 cans, each one of which is marked identically. You got that?
Yes.
Now, Mr. McGeehan, may I have the first item, please? I am holding in my hands a little automobile model. And this automobile model represents a 1955 Nash Rambler automobile that gives you 30 miles to the gallon of gas, and if you pick this out of the buckets, you get a 1955 Nash car for your very own self. Now look what's coming next. Pat, quickly. Here is a can of live worms. See that?
Yes, I
I'm
do.
going to put that in and upend it. And there it is. All the worms are in there. Mr. McGeehan, please. The next item. She says, ew. A little white mice. And I put mouse. That's a rat, she says. I put him down in there. Now, there is the car, the mouse, the worms, and around it goes. Around it goes. Now you turn around quickly. All right, Mrs. Durham, reach down, and what are you going to get?
I think the worms.
Well, which one are you going to pick?
This one.
You're going to pick this one.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's the one with the new Nash automobile?
I'm not sure, but...
Do you have woman intuition?
Well, sometimes.
I don't know which one it is. I've lost track. I can't tell.
I feel like it's going to be worms tonight.
This is going to be worms? How do you like your worms? En brochette or under glass? All right. Might be the rat.
Well, I'm not... Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go right ahead and see what you get.
Oh, it's the worms.
She knew it. She said, well, why did you do it if you knew it?
I don't know. I kept thinking you'd...
No, you knew those were the worms, didn't you?
I felt it.
Well, then why didn't you reach
An
somewhere
intuition. Well, I looked, and they all looked alike.
else? Yeah, but if you felt this was the worms, why did you reach in there? Do you
Well-
want worms?
No, but I thought maybe I might be wrong this time.
In other words, you went against your female intuition.
That's right.
Just for the fun of it, which one of these 2 you've lost But we'll see if your female intuition, which one of you tells you of which one of these two?
That might be the car there.
Right here. Let's see. Ah, it's the rat! Yeah, this is the car, and so your intuition didn't work. But you, Mrs. Durham from Indianapolis, get a consolation prize of a beautiful Westinghouse roaster oven. You can be sure if it's a Westinghouse, and thanks for proving that people are funny. They should never go against intuition. Goodbye.
Please stay with us. The fun continues.
Big dog out to a nearby neighborhood to test scientifically how sentimental people are about the combination of a boy and a dog. And if he could get the people to keep the dog overnight, there'd be something doing for everybody. So let's bring in the boy and the big dog and see what happened. Whoa, here he comes. There you are. The dog is a gray big St. Bernard. It outweighs the boy about 2 to 1. And Reese is a young 8-year-old lad who went out, and what did you do, Reese?
I went out to house, and I asked people if they would keep a dog for me.
Overnight?
Yeah, overnight.
But where was this dog when you asked them that?
In the car.
They didn't see this dog at all. You said it was a little puppy?
Yep.
And you told them a miserable story about the fact that the father would let you keep the dog if you could keep him overnight, huh?
Yeah.
This is very interesting interview conditions. Your name, please? So what happened? Did you get turned down in the first place or not?
Yeah.
Oh, they wouldn't let you when you brought the dog up?
They had a dog. No, I didn't bring the dog up. They had a dog already.
Oh, and they wouldn't keep your dog just for one night?
Nope.
So then you went to the next place. Then what happened?
Well, then they were nice about it, but they all seem to have dogs.
And they didn't want to keep your dog? Did you ever find anybody who said they would?
The last house I went to, they didn't have a dog, and I went up to it, and she was real surprised when I brought up the dog, but she agreed.
In other words, when instead of a little puppy, you brought this great big monster up, the woman agreed. Did you bring her back?
Yep.
Let's find out who this woman is. Oh, boy.
Tired.
Who are you?
Betty Danko.
Where are you from, Mrs. Danko?
Miss Danko.
Oh, a single lady.
Yes?
And young Mr. Ehrlich here appealed to your sense of a little boy wanting a dog.
That's right.
What happened when he brought the big thing up?
Well, I don't know. My cat took off like this and knocked my mother down in the kitchen. My mother doesn't know where I am or anything.
She just saw you go away with a big dog. Well, I tell you.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little crazy. We wanted to find out if people would take pity on a little boy who had a puppy to take overnight. And do you know he went to a lot of houses and they all turned him down until he came to your house?
Well, I thought he belonged in the neighborhood, you know. I asked him where he lived. I thought, well, if he's, a new neighbor or something like that, I should be very neighborly.
Yeah.
And so he said his father would show up the next day. So I thought, well, all right,
So then
I went back in. I closed the door and I went back in because he was going down the street. I thought he was going home to get the dog or something. So I went back in, and then the knock at the door, and here's this huge animal.
this huge animal, and he came bounding in, huh?
He almost knocked me down.
Well, now, did you still say you'd keep him?
Well, what could I do? I had, promised.
You promised a little boy.
Of course, he said 22 pounds a day he eats, and my cat, eats 1 pound every 3 or 4 days, and that's all I had home was a little bit of cat meat. I didn't see I was going to take care of him.
You could have fed the cat to him. What do you work here in town?
Yes.
What do you do?
Well, I work in pictures.
In pictures? Are you extra? Or?
Extra bit, standing in.
Well, good. Well, you're certainly standing in for a little boy tonight. And where are you going to keep the dog? Do you have a place to keep the St. Bernard?
Well, I'll either have to keep him in the garage or in my room and stay in the garage myself. I don't know. My cat
You live with your mother?
Yes.
Doesn't she have a room there?
Yes, she has, but she doesn't know where I've disappeared.
Oh, and she doesn't want a room with the dog overnight or
Sure
something?
she doesn't.
Well, I tell you, Miss Danko, you have come through with flying colors. You not only volunteered to help a little boy, but when the obstacles became horrifying, you still went through with it. And so we'd like to have you take home for your home a beautiful Tappan gas range with all of exclusive Tappan seats.
You're joking.
Huh?
You're joking.
No, that's yours from us. From People Are Funny. Would you like it?
I certainly would, but you're kidding.
No, it's yours. It's yours, and the next time anybody comes to the door with a big dog, you can run, put your head in the oven, and turn the gas on. And Reese, we're going to give you, for your home, a beautiful Stromberg Carlson television set. How do you like that, huh? There's nothing finer than a Stromberg Carlson, and for the dog, we have in the back a rhinoceros bone that you can take home with you. Thank you very much. Goodbye, Miss Danko. Goodbye, Reese.
Join Art Linkletter again next time for more fun, more zany antics, once again proving that people are funny.